Cool for yeah. So let's start. Gonna be about bit manipulations. So before going further, let's see the basics. So what is bit manipulation and all. So let's start. So every one of you know that we have some data types in our language C++. So let's say there is a data type int x is equal to 3. Okay. So you know that computer stores everything in binary. So it is an integer, as you know, here integer ranges from minus 2 की power 32 to 2 की power 32. So basically it just stores a 32-bit number. So basically it's just stored 32 bits, and as you know 3 in binary is 1 1. So it's gonna be there are 30 bits and then 1 1. So like this computer stores inside its memory. Similarly, if something like int x is equal to 5, so again there will be 32 bits and here it will be 101. So that's how computer stores internally, but you don't need to care because in your editor or compiler you just gonna use x is equal to 5, but computer internally stores the binary of these numbers anyway. Okay. So now let's.
Sir, I have one question. Sir, you said that the integers are stored from 2 raised to power 32 from 2 raised to power minus 2 raised to power 32. But sir, I heard that the leftmost bit is for sign bit. So the we should store number from minus 2 की power 31 to 2 की power 31.
Yeah, very good point. Yeah, fine. Yeah, my mistake. Yeah, so it's basically it's stored minus 2 by 31, which is approximately 10 to the power 9. This generally we care about this. So generally we just consider approximation, and it is minus 10 to the 9 to 10 to the 9. But yeah, very good point. This leftmost bit tells you about whether it is a negative number or a positive number, and this is gonna be your the number in binary. Okay. Yeah, let's move forward. Then so. And basically, there are 3 types of bit operators. There are many types of bit operators, but let's focus on basic ones. One is OR, one is AND, one is OR. So these 3 that we care about. So I'll just, you must be knowing about them, but let's talk in brief. So OR, you know, 1 and 0 is 1, 0 0 is 1, 0 0 is 0, 1 or 1 is 1, and 1 0 or 1 is 1. So basically, if you want to or 3 or 5, so it will be 0 1 1 1 0 1. So it is so this is it is 1 1, it is 101, it is 111, but you are a storyteller and all you care about similarly after that second this is the
Sir, there is audio problem.
hello.
Yes, sir. Audio is not clear.
For all or only for you? Others, can you hear me?
Sir, for all, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, for all. Now it's okay. Yes.
Now it's working fine.
Yes, sir. Now it's okay.
Okay. Now it's fine.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it is an AND operator. The sign is ampersand. So you know about the AND operation is whenever only both are 1, then only the output will be 1, else it will be 0. So let's try to take OR of AND of 3 and 5. So which will be 0 1 1 1 0 1 1 1 is
Sir, again, audio problem is there.
should I? What's the matlab? The sound is breaking.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Cannot hear words properly.
Sure, why it is happening? Just a second, let me check. Hello, is it clear or still breaking?
Sir, now it's clear.
Sorry, let's see. Let's move forward. So till now everything is clear, or I need to repeat anything?
Clear, sir.
It's clear, right? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Oh, now it's fine.
Yes.
Okay. So let's move. Yeah. So so these are very simple thing. Again, we have discussed about OR, we have discussed about AND. Now we'll discuss about XOR. It is very important, most important in the programming world, because you must have seen or you will see many questions based on XOR operator. So XOR is nothing. Sorry. 0 is again 0. 1 is 1. Basically, when two bits are same, 1 1 or 0 0, it will be 0. And if n is 1, then it will be 1. For 3 and 5, x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 5. And in computer, if you write, in z is equal to 3, XOR 5. So this is the sign of XOR. It is not a sign of power or something. Zero, 0 is 1, and 1 0 is again 1. So this is 6. So you will get output if you print C out Z, your answer will be 6. So now, till now it's very simple. The operator looks very simple, but now the complication, the things start. So I'll tell you one example. Let's say so there are two properties that can follow. These properties can be very easily derived, but always remember this: is x XOR 0 is x, and x XOR x is 0. So it's very simple. X. So let's check for this one. So if you take XOR with anything, like if you take XOR with 0, you will get the same number, because 1 0 is 1, 0 0 0 0 is 0, and 1 0 is 1. So it will be 7. And it is you can see this as very simple, because let's say 1. And you are taking the XOR with itself, then all the bits are same. So and you know, if bits are same, XOR is 0. How can you do this property? Let's see. It is a very and Microsoft and someone from Microsoft also asked this question in interview. The question is given an array. It will be an odd size array. All the numbers are repeated twice, except that is a question. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you have size of array is 5, and So basically the question is like all the numbers will be in pairs. Basically there will be two numbers, two instances of the number. Only one number identify this number. So first tell me, if you don't have any XOR operator, what will you do? Any one of you? How will you find this number? Anyone? Hello?
Sir, can you repeat the question?
Sir, please repeat the question.
Okay. Let me know if you are not able to hear. So question is, you are given an array. All the numbers are in pairs. Basically, all the numbers will be twice. Only one number will occur once. Like I'll give an example. Let's say 7. You have a size 7 array of size 7. The numbers are 3, 3, 5, 1, 1, 5, and 8. So you can see there are 2 3s, 2 1s, 2 5. Only one number will occur once. All other numbers will occur twice. So can you
Sir,
tell me how will you find that number?
Hash map. Sir, hash map.
Sir, we can use map hashing.
Hash.
Right, correct. So you can use a hash map. You will, let's say you are using C++, you are using map, and you can just see the check the count, or you can use hashing, anything you can want. So you will just see whose count is 2, whose count is 1. That will be my answer. This is the correct method, but there is a very fast method which people generally want.
Frequency array,
Sorry.
frequency array can also be used.
Yes, exactly. Frequency array can be used, but if the number are larger, then it is difficult to use that in hashing. Let's say you have a number of 10 to the power 10, then you cannot index this in array. So that's why you will go to hash map, and you can solve it. But yeah. So one thing is bit manipulation. So bit operations are very fast because computers store things in binary. So these are very fast. So one solution we can use is so every one of you know here XOR. So whenever I will take any XOR 3, it will become 0. And you also know XOR XOR 0 is X. So now if I take XOR of all these numbers, also one thing I guess forgot is XOR is commutative. Basically A XOR B XOR C is equal to A XOR C XOR B. So if I can now see if I'm just replacing it using this property 3 XOR 3, 5 XOR 5, 1 XOR 1 XOR 8. So I just rewritten this thing. So this will become 0. Can you mute yourselves, everyone? Yeah. Guys, can you mute yourself? Fine. So 3 XOR 3, 5 XOR 5, 1 XOR 1, and 8. So this will become 0. This will become 0. This will become 0, and 0 XOR 8 will become 8. So basically, you just need to XOR all the numbers to get the answer. So you can just solve it order of n, and that too without using any extra memory. So solution is clear.
Yes, sir, clear.
Yeah.
So this is a very common question asked in interviews. You can find it anywhere in this form or something. Now let's discuss one more question. The question is, so let's say you are given an array. Some queries will come. There will be some queries. Let's say you have some. So basically what you need to do is you just need to the queries will be in this form: query left to right. So basically this what is telling is you have to do XOR of all the numbers from left to right. So I'll give an example. So let's say you have an array 1 3 5 7 8 9. Okay. Now if let's say this is a one base index, one base array. So let's say first query is query to say 3. So basically you just need to do the XOR of second element to third element, which is 3 XOR 5. Next query came XOR 1 to let's say 4. So it will be 1 XOR 3 XOR 5 XOR 7. So you will pick this answer. So can you tell, one of you can you tell me what will be the brute force approach for this? So the n size array and q queries.
N square time.
Sorry.
N square time.
Yeah, that is fine. But what will you do? What will be the solution?
So for loop.
For every
Repeat the question.
For loop
very
from
Right. So for
Sir, can you
every
please repeat the question?
So question is, you are given an array, there are some numbers, some queries will come, queries will be in the form query left to right. So left to right means XOR of all the numbers from left to right index. So in this case, if it's 2 and 3, so you need to print XOR of second index to third index. If you have to print XOR of 1 to 4, so 1, 3, 5, 7. Basically 1, 3, 5 and 7. So you have to print XOR of one index to fourth index. So for every query, you can run a for loop. This is a trivial solution. So the complexity will be n cross q. And let's say your constraints are this. So it will result in 10 to the power 10 in the worst case. And we discussed last time, 10 to the power 8 runs in 1 second. So 10 to the power 10 will run in 100 seconds, which is TLE. So you're screwed. Now what can be the other solution? So now again, we'll use some property, XOR properties. What we can do is 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9. What we can do is we can store some cumulative XOR. So let's say this is first index, second index, third, fourth, 5, 6. So in first index, you are storing XOR till 1. So in every index I, you are storing XOR from 1 to I. So in second index, you will store 1 XOR 3. In third, you can store 1 XOR 3 XOR 5. And you can do simple just in order n. Like this. In 2, you already have 1 XOR 3. So to compute, let's say, let's say this array is XOR array. So XOR of I will be XOR of I minus 1 XOR A of I. So that's how you can just recompute this array. Now let's come to the queries. So queries will be left to right. So now let's say, like we discussed, let's say you have to find from 3 to 5 index. You have to print the XOR of third index to 5 index. Basically, third is so basically 5. You have to print XOR of this, but you don't want to run your loop. But now we have stored something like this. So how can we use it? So if I just take XOR of 3 and XOR of 5, the pre-computed array. So what will it do? It is storing initial array. Let me write once again. So initial array was 1, 3, 5, 7, 8 and 9. Okay. So XOR 3 will be XOR 3. What is XOR 3? It is already 1 XOR 3 XOR 5 that you have stored. XOR 5 is 1 XOR 3 XOR 5 XOR 7 XOR 8. Now if I do XOR of these two, what will it be? 1 XOR 3 XOR 5 XOR 1 XOR 3 XOR 5 XOR 7 XOR 8. Now these are repeated, so these will become 0 and you will get
7
the
XOR 8.
I think I did some mistake. Might be 1 XOR 3 XOR 5 and 8. Yeah. So you will do XOR of so you need to do so you have to do XOR of left minus 1 XOR of right. So what mistake I did is, you have to find 3 to 5 XOR, you just need to take XOR of 2, which is 1 comma 3 1 XOR 3, and XOR of 5 is 1 XOR 3 XOR 5 XOR 7 XOR 8. let's again 1s or 3s or 5, sorry, 1s or 3s or 5s or 7s or 8. So this will become 0 and you will get the answer. So now so whenever you are getting some query, left, right, you just need to do is XOR of left minus 1 XOR right. So if you think it again, it is simple to that question. Let me write one more question for you. Given an array, again you have some queries, and you have to print sum from left to right. Now you have to print sum of left to right index. So basically, if you have some 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, and let's say query is, let's say 3 to 6. So now you have to print the answer of 3 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9. So one way is to run a for loop, and another way was again the similar we discussed above. Just print the cumulative array. Basically 1 plus 2 3 plus 3 6 6 plus 7 13 13 plus 8 21 20 plus 9 is 30. So now if you want to find the sum of this, what you can do is from total, basically if you want to sum left to right, which is 3 to 6, just let's say this is sum array, you can directly print sum of r minus sum of l minus 1. So sum of r is 30, sum of r left is 3 minus 2, which is sum of 2. 30 minus 1 2 is 3, which is 30 minus 3 27. So let's calculate 10 and 7. 3 plus 7 10 18 and 27. You got the answer. Now what will be the time complexity? So you first pre-computed an array in order n time. You run a loop to compute this array or the XOR array. Now for every query, so basically there are for every query, sorry, this is plus. Now so you are pre-computed it only once. Now for every query, you are giving answer in the constant time in just one instruction. So it is order of Q. So now the overall complexity will come to 10 to the 5, and you will get a green tick, not a TLE. So that's how you have to think about the questions. So last time again we discussed here, whenever you are getting a TLE, you should first think why are you getting a TLE. Just 1 second. Yeah. So till now everything is clear. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Okay, cool. Even if you miss something, I'm just recording this session, so I'll just send you the link of recording, but try to attend, because if you have any doubt, you can directly ask over here. Now let's discuss another important operator. Till now it was very basic operators, so which is something called left shift operator. Yeah. So what is left shift operator? Let's discuss. Yeah. So left shift operator, which is denoted as like this. So it is nothing but, I'll tell you. So it has some x, it has some y. So it says shift this number x to the left side by times. It is little complex. We'll discuss what is this. So let's say this take like a simple example with 1. Let's say there is some simple example. Let's say you have some for left shift 2. So 4 in binary is 0 0 0. What is this 4? Let's say 1 0 0, and so on. So this is your 4 in binary. Now shift 4 to the left side 2 times. Basically just shift this number 2 times on the left side. So one after one time it will become 0 0 1 0 0 0, and you have to do it twice. So it will become 0 0 1 0 0 0 0. So basically you are just adding 2 zeros at the end. So now if I take okay, I think it's limit. Okay, if you guys get disconnected after some time, just connect to the same link, the same meeting link, and we'll start this from there only. Okay, now yeah. So let's say some example. Let's take a very basic example because 4 will not come. The thing we gonna use is, let's say something like this. So ones or 0 will be 1, but don't shift this. So it will be 1 and 1. Now let's do ones or one shift 1 left shift 1. It is 1 and shift 1. So we basically add 1 0, which is 2. Outside this, which will be 1 0, which is 2 ki power, which is 4, right? Now again 1 0 0. Now you can, I guess, see the pattern.
8.
So if it is 1 left shift n, it will be 0 n time, and it will be 2 ki power n.
Yes.
Right? So this is the basic use of left shift. Not the use, we will discuss the use, but let's just simply think to see this. Let's just print in the terminal. So I just write a very simple code fast. Just dry run it. Left shift cpp. My laptop got hang, I guess. Sorry, my laptop got hang. Are you able to see the screen? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Cool. We'll just the code. It's very simple. So you have some x, let's say 1 left shift 3, just printing this. This left shift, so d plus plus left shift out. So you can see it is 8. So yeah, it is very simple thing. Just to show you. Yeah, again, yeah. Now this is the left shift operator. All you need to so just like left shift, it is so again it was shift x to the left side, now shift x to the right side by times. So if something is like x right shift by time, so let's say something like 3 left shift. It's 1 0 1 0. Now right shift after it becomes 1 0 1, so basically this got removed. So and again basically you have to do it twice, so it will become 1 0. So if you think twice, then it becomes 5. So basically you are just dividing it by 2. So one shift means you are just dividing it by 2. Then 5, you are moving one number from the end. So you are dividing 5 by 2. So right shift will, you can also imagine it as like this. If you are doing one right shift, then you are just x. Yeah. So if you are doing like this, x right shift 1, you can just write as x divided by 2. So you are just dividing it by 2, and if you are like this, it is 2 q power n, 2 q power x. So right shift is not that important. All you need to remember is left shift operator. We're gonna use this in our future, this coming topic.
Sir,
But if
what
you are
about negative numbers?
negative, I have to try. I think I'm not sure about it, but very good question. I'll try. I'm not sure. And you can also try in your compiler. Let us see the results.
And sir, what about the leftmost bit, the sign bit? What happens to the sign bit?
Sign bit, I think it won't change. If you are, I'm not sure, but I don't think sign bit will change, because even it's, let's say you have some bit over here and you are ultimately it will become 0, but it will not be used. So basically, if you are something like this, like 101, so if you are left shifting it, it will become 1010. This bit will be same over here, and yeah, so it will be still be to give this 31 range, and if you will cross over it, then you will get an error. Are we clear? Now basically sign bit is not changing till it becomes 0, or it is going out of the plane. I can repeat it again because it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Okay, so now we have learned some bit operators, and we have learned some left shift and right shift. Right shift is not, again I'll say, not that important. Now we're gonna combine these things. So in the coming topic also, we'll just use both of them. So now let's say now what we are going to learn next. And before that,
What are the applications of left shift and right shift operator?
right. Yeah, that is good question, and we are going to discuss that only. I'll just say also I'll just give you some tricks, like applications of these things. So one is, if you want to check is power of 2 or not. So like yes, and again, if let's say 16 is about 2. Yes. So let's say you have to find it. Hello, can you listen? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, but there is some audio
Yes,
problem in
sir.
between.
So what I asked is, you are given a number, you just need to tell whether it is a power of 2 or not. So 8 is a power of 2, 7 is not a power of 2, 16 is power of 2. So yes, no, and yes. Question is clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So can you tell me a
Yes, sir.
solution for this? Very basic solution, any solution.
Sir, we can run a while loop, and we will start dividing by 2, and we will check the remainder. If the remainder while dividing by 2 is not equal to 0, then it is not power of 2.
No, wait, let's
We
say you
can
have
use inbuilt power function.
yes, you can use power function, right? But this while loop, so for 10, how will you calculate?
Sir, 10 divide by 2, and we will put and condition in while loop, and we will use modulus operator.
Now, so 2
And
mod
if
10 mod 2 is 0. Then
yes sir, so we will divide it by 2.
okay, then we'll check for 5, right?
Yes sir.
Cool. Yeah, this solution works and perfectly fine. So, but we were trying to find whether a number is of power of 2 or not. So one thing we can do right now. So what is power of 2? If we just try to think in binary, 2 is 1 comma 0, 1 0. 4 is 1 0 0. 8 is 1 0 0 0. Basically, all the zeros followed by 1. 1 followed by the number of zeros. Now let's think about. So this, let's say this is n. So what n minus 1 will be? So for 2, 1 is 1. For 4, it is 3, 3 is 1 1. For 8, it is 7, 7 is 1 1 1. 1 1 1. Now take 16. So 16 is, and what is 15? 1 1 1 1. So if you take n, basically the number n, and take its end with n minus 1. So let's take an example. So for 16, it is 0, 1 0 0 0, and 15 is 1 1 1 1, right? And if you take n, what will it be? 0, right? Let's take one more example. Let's say 8. So 8 is 1 0 0 0, 7, 8 and 7. Basically, you are just taking end of number minus 1, which is 1 1 1. Now take this end, because 0 is there. So it is again 0. So basically, if n and n minus 1 is equal to 0, you can say it is power of 2. Clear? Let's take an example where there is no power of number is not power of 2. Let's say 10. So 10 is 1 0 1 0. Now if you take and with some number minus 1, which is 9. What is 9? 9 is 1 0 0 1. Now if you take and, it will be 0 0 0, but here it will come 1. So it is not 0. So it is not a power of 2. Is this clear?
Yes sir, clear and surprised.
Yes, sir.
So it is, the complexity is order of 1. It is very fast. Because you are doing some bit operators, so these are small. The bit is very powerful. You will not get much question in interviews, but in coding contests on the long, you will definitely get these things. Now, what we are going to see next is, so next is very important thing. You have to check whether access bit of n is set or not. So set is nothing. Set means bit is 1 or not means set is bit is 1. Unset means bit is 0. So what you have to check is, let you have some number n. Let's say take an example again, 10. So which is 1 0 1 0. So you have to check its accept bit is 1 or 0, or set or unset. So set is 1, unset is 0. So if I am saying, so this is, as we know, you must have read, it is 0th bit, it is first bit, it is second bit, and it is third bit. So you just need to find whether the bit is 1 or 0. So again I'll say, in computer you only have this thing, in n is equal to 10. You don't have any binary representation. One way is, you will just convert this number 10 into binary, and then you will run a loop or something, or you will just directly store it in array. Let's say you convert this 10 into binary, 1 0 1 0. Now you can directly say if the bit is 1 or 0. But we don't want to do that. We just want to use some bit operators to find it. So let's see one example. So if 1 0 1 0, and you have to check. So you have to check whether, so number is 10, number is, let's say, 9, and you have to check whether its second bit is set or not. So it is 1 0 1 1 0 0 1. Second bit is 0 1 2. So answer will be not set. Right? Again, if I'll say 9, check third bit is set or not. So third is 0, 1, 2, 3. So it will be set, right? Now we have to find this. What we can do. So again, we'll use some property. Just let's think how can you find it. Let's say we have any number. Just imagine it in a binary. Let's say again 9. So let's say if I have to find any bit, let's say I am trying to find this bit. So if I put 1 under it and everything else is 0, and if I take n, what will happen? So other will definitely become 0 because I am putting 0 everywhere. Only if this is 0, then it will be 0. If it is 1, it will be 1. Let's say another example. So it will be 0. Again, let's take some better example. Let's say we have to find 10th ka second bit. 10, and you have to find first bit. So again 10 is 1 0 1 0. First bit is you have to find whether this bit is 1 or 0. And you again have in computer you have number 10, not this 1 0 1 0. So let's say let's don't think how will we do. Just let's say if I put 1 over here and rest everything is 0. Again I'm taking n, so everything else will become 0. But this number now will not become 0 because there is 1 above, right? So it will be 1, which I can say not 0. Again, let's take one more example. Let's say you want to find, again let's come to 9 and check its 0th bit is set on 0. Let's say it's so let's say 0. Will this set or not? So again 1 0 0 1 0th bit. So again you want to find about this bit. We'll just put 1 over here. Rest everything 0. Now again it is 0. It will be 1. Rest everything is 0. So not 0 basically. So you can say this number, this bit is set. But how will we find a common pattern in this? Are you able to? The question is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And method is also clear.
Yes, sir.
What we are doing. Just let's last do this final example. Let's say you are doing. Give me some. Let's say 6, and you want to find first bit is set or unset. We are going to use these terms only. Set means 1, unset means 0. So 6 is 1 1 0. You have to find about this bit. So let's say just putting 1 over here. Rest everything is 0. So it will become. 6 is 1 1 0. Yeah. I just want to take some example of 0. So let's say now last example 4. You have to take first bit is. You have to find about the first bit. 4 is 1 0 0. We'll put again 1 over here, 0 everywhere. Now it is 0, it is 0. And because the bit is 0, it will also become 0. So it is 0. So now what's the pattern? Now let's look closely about these numbers. So this number you already have, right? This number you already have, which is given by you the question setter. Now what is this number? How will you find this? So if you think closely, these all are power of 2 because everything is 0. So this is 1 0. This is again power of 2, which is 2 to the power 0. This is again power of 2, which is 2 to the power 1. Let's see one big number. Let's say you have something like this. Let's don't anything. Now you have to find whether this bit is, this might be some number n, and you have to find 0 1 2 3 4. So fourth bit, basically you will find the exit bit. So you will keep 1 over here and rest everything is 0. So what is this number? We just discussed it above. So this is some 2 to the power x, which you can write as 1 left shift x, right? So what we are doing? To find so you have to find for number n, exit bit is 0 or 1. What we are doing? N ampersand. What is this number? 1 left shift x. So if this is equal to 0, print unset, else print set. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So that much powerful bits are. In order one, you can directly say कि यार bit is set or 0 without even converting it to the binary. Now, but why we are using, what is the use? Now, let me tell you the one. Let's say you have the question is find total number of set bits in n. So let's say you have some 10. So total bits that are set. So that are set basically that are 1 are 2. Let's say 15. So it is 1 1 1 1. The total number of bits that are set are 4. You have to output these numbers. So what you can do right now is you can just write a for loop. We have to write some condition over here, I plus plus. So this number n, if n ampersand 1 left shift I is not equal to 0, some count plus plus, right? But now how many times we will run this loop? So you have to run this loop is this 1 2 3 4. So basically total number of bits that are there in this number n. So now you must be knowing some maths. So if the number is n, total number of bits will be log 2 to the power n, and take ceil of this. So let's take an example. So if you want to find number of bits in 8, log 2 of 8 is 3. So there are 3 bits. So we will take we'll take some ceil. Ceil just give you plus 1. Not sure. Basically we have to do plus 1 in this. So which is 4. Now let's say 7. Log 2 of 7, which will be something 2 point something something. So take ceil again. Bits will be 2 plus ceil is just plus 1, which will be 3. So you need to do via ceil time. Let's write the code for this because it is becoming confusing. So question is, I'll again write the question. Find number of set bits in n. Let's write a code for this. Okay, let's try to run. Set bits. Okay. So you are getting you are able to see my screen, right? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So C in n for I is equal to, so we'll discuss about C later. Something we have to write this again. And we have to count the bits. Int x is equal to 0. Let's say count if this number n ampersand 1 left shift I what is this? Okay. 1 left shift I is is not equal to basically 0. So we saw that if bit is unset, then it becomes bit is unset, then the whole number becomes 0. So if it is not equal to 0, count plus plus, and we'll just print the count. Now what we have to fill here is number of bits. So number of bits will be log 2. So this is a function present in math.h. Let's include that. You can directly find log 2 of n and just take ceil. Ceil is also a function present in math.h. You must be knowing ceil. So let's try to run this code. How to minimize it? Set bits. Some error. Okay, let's declare n. Let's declare I. So for 10, answer is 2. So let's run it again. For, let's say for 15, answer is 4. For 8, answer is 0. So here we did exclude something. So for 8, answer should be 1. So I think seal of 8.
Sir, please try one negative number also.
Okay, we'll try that also for you. You haven't tried, but yeah, this should be. We have to handle this case, I guess. So for 8, it should be 1. 1 0 0. Yeah, okay. This will work for everything. So let me try for 8. 1. Let's try for 10. 2. So let's try for negative number. Tell me some negative number, minus 10. So answer is 0. This is interesting. And we'll check. Okay. So I think
minus 8.
I think it is not working for any negative number. We again have to see. I have to see. I'll just check it again and tell you in the session. Yeah, so something is wrong. For this, basically, it will not work for negative number. Good point. We'll find. So that's how you learn. You stuck at somewhere. Like I don't know. I'll just Google it or something, and I'll find the answer. Now let's come again to the positive numbers. Let's assume these are just positive numbers. And so just tell me, this thing is clear, right?
Absolutely, sir.
Okay. So now we have done so much of hard work. Now let's give you one more trick. So there is something called, just forgot the spelling. Again, 1 second. Just copied it again. Yeah. How to move this thing? Left shift. Reset bits. Yeah. So there is a already present function which is underscore built-in underscore pop count. So that directly returns you the. It is a predefined function that gives number of set bits. So let's hello. So let's run this again. So for 10, you are getting 2 and 2. So one is we calculated, one is a predefined function. Yeah. So you can use this also, but you should be knowing how to calculate it yourself. Basically, if you don't have this, well, let's say you are not in interview, you are not allowed to use this. So you are able to calculate it like this.
Does predefined work for negative numbers?
Let's try negative numbers now. Very good. So 10, yes, I think it is. Yeah, it works. I think so. 10 is 3 or what? 30. What is this? It does not work. Let's comment these things. Let's check. 8 into minus 1. No, something wrong is something wrong. No. I think it also works for when let's check for 15. No, I'm not sure, or it might be. How many bits are there? Negative. I'm not sure, even I don't know the answer. Okay, we'll find, and I think I'll cover in the next session or something. I'll try to cover it. But yeah, let's think of, like, so for positive numbers, it will work perfectly fine. So yeah, we did a lot of learning today, but now comes the most important part for which we learned all this. And this, so this is, you can say, an algorithm or something, anything. How to remove this? So yeah, which is printing subsets of an array. Again, the question we discussed in the last lecture. So let's say again 2, 3, 5. You have to print the subsets. I'll again repeat who were not there in the last lecture what is a subset. Subset is basically you have to choose some elements, order should be same, and you can it's your choice whether you want to choose some element or not. So let's say 3 is a subset. So basically 3 is you are not choosing 2 and 5 but you are choosing 3. Similarly 2 and 5 are subset. So you are not choosing 3 but you are choosing 2 and 5. 5 and 2 are not subset because you are choosing 5 and 2 but the order is not same. So order should be same. That is a permanent mandatory thing. Now, so let's write all the, I'm writing over here. So let's write all the subsets over here. So let's say basically, just one thing, not all subsets. So basically you just want to, so you have two choices. You want to have 3 numbers. You can either choose or not choose. So let's say if I'm choosing, I am writing it as 1. If I'm not choosing, I'm writing it as 0. So basically, if it is 0, 0, 0, means I am not choosing anything. So it is empty. Now let's, so basically, so yeah, so how many subsets will be there? You have only 2 choices for every number. So it will be 2 की power n. N is the number of elements. So for this, you have 8 choices. So basically, you will have 8 subsets. Now let's see a very interesting and shocking thing. When someone told me about this first time, I was very shocked. So again, I write it from fresh over here. So 2, 3, 8, 2, 3, 5. So basically, you will have 2 की power 3. So 8 subset that we already know, right? So just count from 0 to 8. Okay, let's start the counting. 0, 1, 2, yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So 0 to 7 we are counting. Now let's, this is the number. This is the, let's say, binary representation. So 0 is, second. So 0 is 0. It's writing in the form of 3 numbers because there are 3 numbers. 1 is 0, 0, 1. 2 is 0, 1, 0. 3 is 0, 1, 1. 4 is 1, 0, 0. 5 is 1, 0, 1. 6 is 1, 1, 0. And 7 is 1, 1, 1. Okay. Now, if you look closely, these are all the possible subsets. Basically, 0, 0, 0 means I'm not choosing anything. 0, 0, 1 is I'm not choosing 2, not choosing 3, but choosing 5. Not choosing 2, choosing 3, not choosing 5. This is 3, 5 similarly. Here I am choosing 2, not choosing anything. Here I am choosing 2, not choosing 3, but choosing 5. We are choosing 2, choosing 3, but not choosing 5. And this is 2, 3, and 5. So, binary representations of these numbers. Oh, I missed one thing. Yeah, let's discuss. So, binary representations of these numbers are giving you a subset. So, the problem with finding all the subset was people don't understand recursion easily. It's a little tough for me also. It was very tough first time. But let's say you have to find subset of any n numbers. So if you are able to get binary numbers of somehow, binary number from 0 to n minus 1 somehow, so you will get all the subset there itself. But are you getting it? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Really amazing.
But now the most interesting part is how will you convert a number to binary? Some people can use divided by 2 method, but we are smart, so we will use that we learned, left shift operator. So what is basically a binary representation? So let's say you have to find binary representation of 10. Not 10. Let's say you have to find binary representation of 12, which is 1100. Let's say you have to find this. So now you have the power to find all the bits, whether it is set or no. So you will just check 0th bit. You know how to check that 0. Then you have to check first bit. You will find it is 0 because you can now check your bit is 0 or 1. Now you know how to find the second bit, whether it is 1 or 0. If you will find 1, then 1. and you can similarly find 12 also. Let's write the code for this. How to? So what I'm doing again I'll say. So to find the binary representation of 12, I'll first 12 and 1 left shift 0 to find the 0th bit, which is 0, because it will come 0 and 12 and 0 is basically 0. It will 1, 12 and 1 will come 0, you can check. Then 1 left shift 1, it will again come 0. 12 and 1 left shift 2, 1 is 1. 12 and 1 left shift 3, it is 1. So now if you print this in the reverse order, you will get the binary. I wrote the code in, I think I don't need to write the code again, I just wrote once. Yeah, so let's just use this code. I'll explain what is this. We are running out of time, that's why I'm using the same code. Okay, so what we are doing is, let's write here. So you just, we are having little time. Yeah, so you have to find the binary of this number n. Now what we are doing is, this is not the code for binary, I guess. Yeah, it is called binary. So let's say, let's hard code this. N is 12. So again you'll find the bit. So what we are doing is, from 0, because we know there are how many bits in a number, beside this number of bits, so you have to run 4 times I plus plus. So if that bit is not 0, print 1. If it is 0, print 0. So let's run this code. Left start. Some 0. Okay, so this is not defined because it is present in math.h. Again, this capital N. So it is 0, 0, 1, 1, but you need to print in the reverse order. Now I'm not telling you, you can do it as a homework. Instead of printing, you can insert it in an array or in a vector, and you can reverse it. In that way, you can directly get the number in binary. So let's say, okay, let's write this. Help you once. Now we learned all these things, vector and all. You can use array also, it's up to you, but this is the benefit of vector. You don't need to have any, you can just directly push it freely. Now instead of printing 1, dot push back 1. If it is 0, push back 0. So there is a function called reverse. We learned last time. V dot begin. Say V dot. It just reverses the vector. Again, not n, v dot size. Yeah, so 12 is 1100. So that simply you can just now it's very big. It is very simple to print the binary of a number just because of this thing. And what is this thing? You are just checking whether this bit is set or not. So all things are dependable on the previous thing. That's why I said here this lecture will be very step by step. So first we learned about these operators, then we learned how to set up, how to check whether a bit is set or not, and now we have learned how to print the number in the binary. But yeah, let's come. Why did we learn that? So we were here. So we wanted to print all the subsets of a number. So again, what is a subset? So let me just notice the very. Okay, you might have to after 10 years just join the session again. Yeah. So so you have to print all the subsets. Now we notice a very amazing thing and shocking thing here. If I to find subsets of n numbers, if I write counting from 0 to n minus 1, and find binary of all the numbers, I can find the subset, right? So every bit, every number from 0 to n minus 1 is representing a subset. So you can directly print this subset. Now let's write the code for this. Is it clear, or I should repeat it again because it is very important?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Everyone?
Clear. Yes, sir.
So I'll just give one more example. Let's say you have to print, let's say 2, 7, 9, and 8. Just giving a more simple example. Let's say you have to print a subset of these. So this will, there will be total 16 subsets. So from 0 to 15, every number in its binary form is representing a subset. So let's choose anything. Let's say we are choosing number 7. So 7 is, and there are 4 numbers, so we'll represent in 4 bits. So 7 is 0, 1, 1, 1. So now what it is telling you, we are not choosing 2, we are choosing 7, 9, and 8. So this is a subset. Now let's choose one more number, which is, let's say 12. So 12 was 1, 1, 0, 0. So what is this? We are choosing 2, we are choosing 7, we are not choosing 9, we are not choosing 8. So the subset is this. So every number is representing a subset. So now how to write the code for this?
Sir, what will be the time complexity for this process?
Let's write the code and we'll discuss the time complexity. Good point.
Okay, sir.
I think we are running short of time. I'll just directly show you the code. This one. It is very simple. Subset is again. So we are printing int n, c in n. Basically, we are just printing. We are just taking the input n key, how many numbers we have. We took the, let's diagram this. So let's say we have 3 numbers. N is 3. Now this is the array. So we are taking 3 numbers. Again, in our example, what was that? Side 2, 3, and 5. Okay. So here every number is giving me a subset. So what are the numbers? So for 8, numbers were from 0 to 7. So again 0 to less than 8. So 7, like we learned today, 1 less than n is 2 की power n. So you can find anywhere. Now you can also use this thing if you want to use, but both are same. So basically you have to write this 0 to 7. So you can also use 2 की power n, but like in previous lecture I told you, don't use power function. So you can also use this. Both are same. So outer loop is from 0 to 7. So 0 to 7. Now for every I, basically for every number is representing me a subset. So every I will give me a subset. So you have to find the binary of I. So like we discussed for one more example, keys for these numbers 2, 3, 5, 7, or 4 numbers, we'll have to go from 0 to 15 and pick any number, it will give you a subset. So in this case, go from 0 to 7, pick any number. So you have to print all. So that's why we are choosing all. So now you have to convert binary of I. Print binary of I. Now we learned just now over here how to print a binary. So I'm just doing that. Take 0 to n. So this, to print the binary of number I just have to print some bits. So total number of bits I told you it will be 4. In this case, number of will be 3 because there are 3 numbers like 0, 0, 1. No, sorry. Give an example 0, 0, 0, 1. So every subset will contain 3 numbers. So we are choosing number. So we have to just check for 3 bits. Now you know how to check bits. You will again shift 1 left. You are just doing left shift 1 time, 2 time, and taking end. You can also write it like this, like we just print in the. Just to make it simpler, I have written in 2 lines. So let's say again we are going. Let's say I is, let's say 6. Okay. So you have. So this loop is, this inner loop is finding binary representation of 6. These are very simple. If you have any doubt, you can just write the code. You will get it in 5 minutes. So now we are just checking from 0th bit to nth bit, it is set or not. If it is so, 0 means we are not choosing that number. So if it is 0, let's leave, and if it is 1, then just print the number. So let's say again, so for 6 it will come 110. So now it will start from the 0th bit. So let's skip, then come to 1. So it is 1. It will go inside this loop and will print a of 1. A of 1 is 3. Not 2, 3, 5. Yeah. So it is 3. Now it will come to this bit. If it is 0 or 1, if it is 1, it will print 2. It will print like this because you are going from right to left. So you will get all the subsets. Now let's run this. Someone is using me. Now both are same. Okay, we'll just discuss this. So let's run this. A dot out, 3 numbers, 2, 3, and 5. So you can see you are printing all the subsets like this. Okay. So you are able to understand this code, but I will again recommend don't use the code. Don't ever see the code. Just write on your own. You have now understood the logic. Now you can definitely write your code. It might take 4-5 minutes, but okay. Let's So you can again write the code. Now so someone is asking a doubt here, how 1 left shift n and power of 2 to power n are same. So like we discussed, 1 left shift 1 is 10 in binary, which is 2 to power 1. 1 left shift 2 is 100, which is 2 to power 2. 1 left shift 3 is 100 in binary, which is 2 to power 3. Similarly, 1 left shift n is 100 followed by n zeros, which is 2 to power n. And power of power function also, base की power is 2 to power n. So 1 left shift n is equal to power function of 2 to power n. But I always recommend never use power function. Okay, yeah. So we are having 2 minutes. Sorry. Okay, so I'll just give you some questions, not questions. So there is a very famous question. I'm just printing on this chat. You can just copy this, and I'll also post these questions on Slack. Not Slack. First, let's try to. I'll just print this question. Send this question on Slack. So let us discuss in 2 minutes. Let's discuss one question. Yeah. So question is, listen closely. Not listen clearly. So question is, given n coins. So let's say you have coin of rupees 2, 7, 8. Let's say you have 4 coins, 2, 7, 8, 7. Not 7. These are distinct. Let's say 17. Find if you can make sum s. So let's say your sum is 9. So can you make 9 using these coins? Yes. So you can give 2 plus 7, which is 9. So let's say I ask, can you print sum is 14? Can you make 14? No. So you can choose any combination, but you will not be able to form 14. Well, I think we'll disconnect, so you can join again. Sorry for this. I'll definitely buy a pro version today. So yeah, and we'll discuss the time complexity. That's why I'm asking you to reconnect to the same link. So S is 14. So no. Let's say you want to print 10. So can you make 10? Yes. 8 plus 2. Yes. So what we are doing is, we have to check if any subset can make sum s. So now you know how to print a subset. Instead of printing, you just need to have sum. You just need to add them, and you have to add whether it is making sum. And if it is making that sum, then print yes or not. So this is a question in CodeChef, which we'll discuss better. So there is a question, again I am repeating, Malcha 1. Question is, check whether you can make sum s using n coins. So now you have some coins. 2791, let's say, and you have to find, first of all, greedy will not work. So if you are thinking, let's say I have to make 16, I'll subtract 9 and then subtract 7. It is working in this case because 16 minus 9 7, 7 minus 7 is 0. But I will definitely send you a case on Slack where it will fail. So greedy does not work in this. You have to see all the possible cases, basically all the possible subset. So you can choose any number of points and you have to make some S. So you must have done this in class 12th or something, not this program, but you know here how to do this, how many numbers of permutation and combination will be over here. So yeah, let's discuss it again. Yeah. So now how can we solve? So we already know, we just see here how to print all the subsets, right? So instead of printing, so let's say you have again those subset 2 3 5. Subsets were 2 3 3 5 2 3 5 2 3 5, empty set, and 3 5 9. Something is missing. 3 4 5 6 7. Which is missing? 2 5. Are you able to hear?
Yes, sir.
Here I think I didn't start the recording. Wait. Yeah,
Yes, sir. Able to hear properly.
Just 1 second. Yeah. So you can just, instead of printing, you can just submit. I'm not writing the code. You have to write it on your own. Yeah, just instead of printing, I will just do the sum. So basically now the question can be modified in any way. So using a subset, they can ask you whether you can print a sum or not. There is a question we made. I'll just send you the link on the Slack. Here, given a string, find how many subsets are palindrome. Let's say a string is ABA. So A is a palindrome, A is a palindrome, A, B, A individually are palindromes, triple A is a palindrome. So you need to check how many subsets are palindrome. So now it is again very simple. You just need to find the subsets and then you can write a palindrome function which will tell you that it is a palindrome or not. But now the interesting part comes to complexity. What is the complexity? Because you are finding all the subsets, so it will be 2 to the power n. So again, complexity is exponential. So it also have a benefit is like, if you ever see constraints like this, here n is still 16 only or 20 only. Basically, the complexity will be 2 to the power 20, and 2 to the power 20 is approx 10 to the power 8, I guess. So it will run in 1 second. So whenever you see constraints like this, you can think of this subset. Now I'll tell you how the complexity is 2 to the power n into n. It depends. Basically, you're printing every subset, so n to the power n into n. Now we look at the code. So
The complexity should not be n square.
No. So I'll tell you why. So because there are total 2 to the power n subsets, right?
Yes.
And we'll see by the code also. But logically, if you think, we are printing everything. So definitely we are printing 2 to the power n things, right?
Yes.
So complexity cannot be n square. But now let's look by code. So this thing itself is saying this loop is from 0 to 2 to the power n, right? So this outer loop is order of 2 to the power n into, again, this is not XOR, it is 2 to the power n. Now again, there is again a loop of n, basically to print the subsets, so n. So basically overall complexity becomes n into 2 to the power n. So this is the overall complexity of printing the subsets. So that's why whenever you see a question, always think like, I can show you right now only. Marcha 1 is a question. So this is the same question you have to print. You have to check whether the sum, you can provide the sum using n numbers. So if you come here, let's look at the constraints. So here constraints, the constraints. Yeah. So they are saying your wallet does not hold more than 20 banknotes. Basically, n is 20 here. So you can directly use using this subset. You can basically, the complexity will be 2 to the power 20 into 20, which will not give you TLE.